Why does it hurt so much when the day breaks? Why does it hurt so much when the day breaks? It's the Cornbread Man Morning Show on your radio. It's the Cornbread Man Morning Show. It's the Cornbread Man Morning Show on your radio. It's the Cornbread Man Morning Show.
Good evening. This is your host standing by our nation's heart. We are launching Patriot Nation News, your trusted source for daily updates. Join us every weekday, 9 p.m. Eastern, only on PNN News.
Let's kick this day off right, Wolf Nation. It's time to wake up, show up. First you pray up, then you coffee up. Grab your Wolf Nation coffee and tune into the Cornbread Man Morning Show at 6 a.m. EST. Don't you dare miss it.
You're not going to want to miss what we're cooking up this month. Make sure you tune in every single Saturday morning, live right here from Wolf Nation Studio. Keep your eyes peeled for the Cornbread Man and Biscuit Boy. They're bringing the heat every week.
And good morning on the 6th of May. Cornbread Man on the Cornbread Man Morning Show. And it is May the 6th, as I said. It is also my birthday. Yes. Another year older. My granddaughter got up at midnight. You know, they do those things. Come in and gave me a big hug and wished me happy birthday. It was cool. 61 today. Yeah. Oh yeah. 61. And thankful to be here. Praise God. It's a good day. Going to be a good day. I took the day off from work. I'm going to do a couple things with today along the way. Hope you're having a wonderful day so far. May the Lord bless you. Hello, Broski Bar. How's Broski today? Doing good, I hope. Verse of the day. Here we go. Proverbs 15:3. The eyes of the Lord are in every place, beholding the evil and the good. Without a doubt, God knows all, sees all. He's got it all. No getting away with anything. Some people think they're getting away with stuff. And today it is national. This is a good thing. You know, I didn't know this till today. I did not know that on my birthday, it is International No Diet Day. I just can throw it away, you know. No diet for today. So just throw it out the window. Not that I was on a diet, but I try not to go crazy all the time, but I thought that was pretty cool. I didn't realize that. Somehow I missed that last year. Well, you know, last night, you know, the Braves were in a dogfight. They'd lost the game before. Thank you, Broski. It's good to be on this earth, you know, all these years. I'm glad to be here. Life is good. Amen. And I appreciate it. I've had a lot of birthday wishes through the night. A lot of people have been reading my daily comments about life with my wife, and some people have been enjoying them. So on the Facebook side of things, I've been sharing that, and I posted one really late last night about today. Someone a restaurant called my wife a liar. That was a long time ago, but oh my goodness. Oh, all these stories coming out. People say, I didn't know none of this. I said, well, we just didn't broadcast it, you know. But today the Braves, they did win last night. Yay, Braves, way to go, because you needed that win to keep the best record in baseball. The Yankees right behind you. Braves have 26 wins on the season, best record in the league. Today they play an early getaway game at 4:10. They're on the West Coast, so it's not early as it would be, like 12 or 1 o'clock like we would do around here. They play Seattle one more time. Grant Holmes against Brian Wu. This will decide the series win. Pardon me. the Braves have not lost a series. They've won every series. So let's see if they can keep the streak up today and win the series, because they have a day off tomorrow. Then they begin a huge series against the Dodgers, the ugly, horrible Dodger blue there in Chavez Ravine. The Dodgers. I can't wait for that. So a weekend series. And Chris Sale will go against Shaheen on Friday. This is back to late games, 10-10. For us, it's late games here, but at least it's the weekend. On Saturday, the Braves will push out their, where's it at? Let's see here. All the way down. It's a 9-10 game. Strider against Sasaki. And then that Sunday wrap-up, we will have Richie, who pitched a good game the other night. I mean, pitched a really good game. They probably left him in a little too long, and it cost them, against Rob Leski on that Sunday game. And then they'll have another day off, I believe. Yes, another day off, and then they start a series. They go home, and they'll take on the Cubbies, another big series. Cubbies are playing well. That'll be Elder against Ray. So we got to get this win in today. Then you got 2 days off in the next 5 with a huge series against the Dodgers. Can't wait to see that. One other thing, or a couple other things in the game last night. I think we gave the final announcement there, but the Thunder did beat the Lakers. Well, they kind of beat the drums off of them. Oh, Cook's not listening. He's a Lakers fan. 108-90. Tonight, the 76ers will go back in the Garden and see if there's any pride left after blood was all over the floor after they got slayed by 39. I almost wish I'd just show up another team. You could have put anybody else in there and they would have done better than lose by 39. Horrible. And one other thing. Let's see. Last night, the Avalanche beat the Wild in hockey 5-2. 5-2. The Avalanche over the Wild 5-2. So we got all these playoff games going on, and also on the sports show last night we covered the story that the college football, the Coaches Association, it doesn't have all coaches involved. There's a lot of coaches involved. They're going to put forth a proposal that college football go ahead and go to a 24-game playoff and cancel all the conference championships, but keep the Army-Navy game. But that is their recommendation going forward, to go ahead and do it. They believe that they will raise, the valuation is they will raise between $300 and $700 million, which will more than make up for the $250 million or so that the conference championships make. The top 9 teams by ranking, college football rankings, would get a bye, one week bye. The rest would play 9 through 24 or 10 through 24. And they would reduce, this is their recommendation, reduce the 2 bye weeks in the season to 1. And that's what they're going to recommend. So I thought they were going to, it's not that college football will do this, but it is their recommendation. So we'll see. I really figured they would make a big push for the 16. The coaches said, let's just go ahead and do it up at 24. We can make this work. The plan is not bad. I just think the conference championships pale in comparison now to the playoff. It would a lot of people wouldn't like that, because they want to say we won, we beat the last team up, in the championship, even though they might have the best record. They could be tied. I don't know. Broski says checking Major League Baseball standings for the first time all season, and the Cubs have a 667 winning percentage. The Cardinals, Braves, Dodgers, and Padres are the other top teams in the National League. Yeah, they're doing well. Like I say, big series coming against the Bravos, starting Tuesday. I see Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday. Because they've got this weekend. They're off tomorrow on Thursday. Weekends against the Dodgers, off Monday, then pick up a series against the Cubbies at home. That'll be a big sellout game. There's a lot of Cubs fans in Atlanta, a lot of Cubs fans. So the Braves doing what they're doing, the Braves fans will show up. I would be shocked if those 3 games are not sold out. I would be shocked because the Cubbies are well received in Atlanta, and the Braves, their fan base is really strong, and even more so right now as they play. Yes, the top 2 teams in the National League, and I guess for the AL it would be, well, Dodgers may not be quite there, but the Yankees certainly are a top team. But the Dodgers did have the best record, but they have, I think, they still got a great record, but they slipped a little bit. But it's pretty exciting. Braves fans are loving this start, which they have not seen a start like this since like the 1800s. They were the Boston, what do they call them? Bean eaters? Boston bean eaters. Oh, well, very nice. Play a little clip here. I know you're just going to love this clip. Let me get this back up here. Hold on. You're just going to love. I'm not going to play all of it. It's 17 minutes, but I'm going to play a little short clip. The Rays, yes, they're playing very well. We were looking at that last night. The Rays are playing very well. They have a great record at home. Let me play this right here really quick. As we saw, Ohio had, results in from their primary. And here is Vivek.
Well, thank you, guys. It is an honor, and I am proud to officially say that today it is our pleasure to become the Republican nominee for the governor of Ohio. So thank you, guys, for getting us to this point. Now, the real destination is in November, but I do want to take a moment to thank the people who got us to where we are, including the folks in this room who have day in and day out worked the phones, who have knocked doors, who have put up signs, who have shown up with us in all of the 88 counties. I want to say thank you to our grassroots volunteers who made this possible. I want to say thank you to our U.S. President, President Trump, for his endorsement in this campaign since day one. I want to thank the current governor of Ohio, Mike DeWine, for his endorsement as well. I want to thank our current Senate President, Ron McCauley, for accepting my invitation to be the next lieutenant governor. You're going to do a great job, Rob.
And there you go. Vivek making his. It sounded subdued. And I know it's not the grand win, but you do win the primary. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, it sounded like there was like 10 people out there. And I know it's C-SPAN. I don't know. But I was a little bit sad. Thank you, Watchman. It is, it's happy birthday to me. Vivek, the anti-American, won. Shake my head. It's a shame Casey Pooch didn't win as he is based and brilliant inventor. Elections are funny. They're quirky, funny things that happen. I just wonder, if he wins the thing, way back when he ran for president and he was really trying to, shake the ground up a little bit. Remember when he would rap? He's the only candidate ever that I remember for president who actually would rap. Could you just see him rapping on stage? Oh, I did not know. Funny what stands out to you in a little acceptance speech, and that's just a small portion of the 17 minutes. I can't handle all that. But the 88 counties, I didn't know till that moment how many counties were actually in Ohio. If I'd heard that before, I've sure forgotten it. Georgia has 154, if I remember right, 154 counties. So anyway, Vivek Ramaswamy, he's ready to be the all-American governor of the great state of Ohio. My question will be, do you think he wins that? He's got the president's endorsement. He seemed to he didn't have any problem winning that. I mean, his base seems pretty strong. So he looks like and I'm going to go vote today as well, early vote. I went yesterday and I thought, oh man, they don't open till 8. I'm so crazy in my head right now. I forgot that I need to get to work. So I'm going to go vote today. I got to get my tags today. Can't go another day or I have to pay a penalty. I'm just going to have to get to 2. I have The other one I have taken down for a while, but I'll get another one later for it. But mine are not expensive, especially if they're not brand new. I'm paying. The Georgia switched that up years ago, and you pay all of it on the front end, the heavy duty, and you pay just the tag amount after that. So I think, if I remember right, I'll be paying $42 today. $42 for my tags. Get those done today, though. I didn't really intend to wait till the last minute. I don't like to do it too early, but usually about a week or two before, we usually would just go ahead and do it. But obviously, we've been busy with some stuff. In the news, I wanted to cover a story or two from the Epic Times. U.S. has destroyed a suspected narco trafficking boat and killed 3 in the Eastern Pacific. That was kind of high up on the ticker this morning. I was going to see, let's see here. The vessel was traveling along known narco trafficking routes and actually engaged in such operations. U.S. Southern Command reported on a post on X on May 5th at the direction of Southcom. I always call it Sitcom. This is Southcom. Commander General Francis L. Donovan, Joint Task Force Southern Spear, conducted a lethal kinetic strike on a vessel operated by a designated terrorist organization, the command said. Intelligence confirmed the vessel was transiting along a known narco trafficking route in Eastern Pacific, not specific, and was engaged in narco trafficking operations. 3 male narco terrorists were killed during the action. No U.S. military forces were harmed. Pardon me. I have just been so choked up this week. I was looking at that video because I didn't know it was going to have speech on it. That's why you heard that. I was going to see the mama, but I don't want to hear her voice. So let me see if I can cancel that and just see if they'll show the video. And I don't know if it's going or not. I don't think it is. So anyway, I was going to show that. But anyway, they were eliminated. We could just say that. They were eliminated. Iran's oil storage clock is about to run out is another story on the Epic Times. Tankers that exported 3.2 million barrels of crude oil per day remain bottled up in Iranian ports due to the blockade by the U.S. Navy. The blockade in part is part of a global vice, I cannot speak today, denying Tehran $13 billion in monthly revenues. So they just don't have anywhere they can put this much, and plus the cost of that. The barrels are starting to pile up, according to consensus industry estimates, including by UK-based energy aspects, up to 68 million barrels of Iran's 122 million barrel maximum storage were full in late April, with space for 20 to 30 million barrels more. The squeeze is rattling Islamic Republic leaders, Trump said on April 28th. So anyway, and they're burning some of that off. So we'll see how that goes. Another story, along with things that have been going on in Australia, they say that they should be able to produce more mining and fight against the CCP's rare metal monopoly, is what they're saying from over there. Australia and its allies may have to embrace market intervention to combat decades of inaction that let China gain a stranglehold on critical raw materials. An outgoing mining boss says. Linus Rare Earth CEO Amanda Lucchese told the National Press Club on today, they're ahead of us about time, that Australia should produce more mining engineers, consider tax credits, and push for more purchases from non-Chinese supply chains. Such moves could help counter the dominance of China, which spent 30 years developing a monopoly on processing rare earth metals a group of elements critical for modern high-tech applications. So other countries are certainly talking about this and trying to counter that. So Australia, I would think that Australia is just very rich in those things. What an amazing, continent, and there's just no telling. I mean, I would say they don't even really even know all that they have there. It's they only live on really just the coastlines for the most part. I mean, that's where the cities are. So we'll see. Let's see here. Anything else from Epic Times I wanted to? I think that was it. But from them, and then flipping over to Newsmax, as we said last night, U.S. gas average is topping $4.50 a gallon. So I think we're at that point now where people are going to get upset, and it's going to start causing politicians some heartburn. And I think that's why you're seeing the move right now, that they're saying the war is over, Epic Fury is over. They're working on a deal and trying to tap down these things, but they got to get the Strait open. But it's that's an average, a U.S. average, $4.50 a gallon. Americans will hold right now, but when it hits $5, I'm telling you, it'll be not good. So it's interesting. They paused Project Freedom for the escorts. I don't think they have anybody to escort. I think that they have the owners of those ships have said, no, we're not going to do it. It's too dangerous. So, and I think that's why Pete Hegseth came out and said, if any shipping is attacked, that will trigger force by the USA. I think this is the stalemate. It has been effective by the Iranians. You got to give them credit. They have been able to stop that shipping now that this is going on. So it has been effective. Then they can hold out for a little while, because they don't. I mean, at the end of the day, unless the people really rise up in Iran, the leaders are not going to starve. I mean, we know that, but they run the risk of a massive amount of people getting in the streets at some point. So it's sort of a race right now. Politics in the USA, regime change in Iran, but the people rise up because they're bleeding over there. They're bleeding. We're not bleeding as much, but the voices here, they can hold out longer because, I mean, it's a dictatorship. I mean, elections don't mean anything there. Like most countries, those are just nominal things that they do. If they even do them, they're fixed. So it's kind of a race. The clock is ticking in a sense. Well, yeah, it was open to begin with, but that's what happens when war starts. But they say, despite attacks, the truce is still holding, and we'll see where that goes. Let's see. The president, who is urging Jewish Americans to observe a national Sabbath from sundown May 15th to nightfall May 16th as part of Jewish Heritage Month, Jewish American Heritage Month, and the nation's 250th anniversary. The Jerusalem or JNS, that's Jerusalem News Service or something. I know that, but it's an acronym. I can't remember. Trump said in the proclamation, as reported by them, that the observance would be a time for rest, reflection, and gratitude, while recognizing both Jewish contributions and the country's founding. The call is tied to a broader Rededicate 250 initiative connected to the upcoming Semiquincennial, with Trump encouraging Americans of all backgrounds to participate. So interesting. They're gearing up. All these things are going to be coming pretty quick. And I would say he'll be reaching out to different ones, Protestants and everybody else. GOP bill will fund White House ballroom. The $72 billion Senate reconciliation bill includes funding for security measures connected to the president's new White House ballroom. The provision, tucked into a broader GOP-led package focused primarily on immigration enforcement, would allocate $1 billion to the U.S. Secret Service for security adjustments and upgrades tied to the East Wing modernization project. Republicans say the funding is strictly for security, enhancements, not construction, is aimed at strengthening protections for the president, his family, and the White House personnel. The funds could be used for above ground and underground features, including hardened infrastructure and potentially expanded protective facilities. This does not fund ballroom construction. A spokesman for the Senate Judiciary Chairman Chuck Grassley, Republican Iowa, emphasized, noting the money is designated solely for Secret Service needs. So there's part of they go on. 38 million of that will be for the Immigration and Customs Enforcement, about 26 billion for Customs and Border Protection. We won't read all that, but anyway, they're trying to push that through right now. Well, amen. He is, absolutely. Jesus is our Sabbath and is our rest. Amen. Another article, Representative Gabe Evans, Republican Colorado, told the Newsmax on Tuesday that European allies have grown, quote, complacent and even outright lazy under the umbrella of U.S. protection, leaving Washington to take the lead in keeping the Strait of Hormuz open. The Colorado Republican and military veteran framed the issue as both a legal and strategic challenge as tensions with Iran persist. Evans served 12 years with the U.S. Army as a Black Hawk helicopter pilot and deployed to the region, said he is fairly familiar with the situation and the mission of maintaining freedom of navigation through the critical waterways around the Strait of Hormuz. He explained that the U.S. is currently engaged in two separate legal operations going on right now. You have the operation to make sure that Iran doesn't get a nuclear weapon, but then you have a separate operation around the freedom of navigation through the strait. He pointed to international law as a clear basis for U.S. action in the region. The UN Convention on the Law of the Sea establishes the Strait of Hormuz as an international waterway that cannot be shut down. When Iran is shutting this down, it is Iran that is aggressively committing an act in violation of international law. The congressman noted that recent U.S. naval movements underscore that commitment and sent a message to Tehran. As you heard in the briefing, 2 U.S. ships transited that strait. That's a major embarrassment on the Iranian regime. But Evans said the bigger question is why allies whose economies depend on the waterway have not stepped up alongside the U.S. I think this goes back to some of the things that were brought to light during Trump 1, he said, referring to concerns over allied burden sharing during the president's first term. Quote, these countries aren't even meeting at the time their then NATO obligations of 2% of their GDP toward defense. He argued that years of relying on American military strength had created a dangerous imbalance. They've gotten complacent. At times, they've gotten outright lazy at living under the peace and security that's provided by the United States. So now that they have to put some skin in the game, this is a very foreign concept to them. He backed continued pressure from Washington to force a shift in that dynamic. And we'll end with this. He said, quote, I think the president of this administration is absolutely right to continue to pressure our allies to do their fair share, rather than just being able to freeload off the peace, the security, and the freedom of navigation that the United States, and specifically the United States Navy, provides around the globe. So just trying to capture some voices around what people are saying about this. So also on the news today, the Republican National Committee Chair Joe Gruters said on Tuesday that he said this on Newsmax Wake Up America, where he projected confidence in GOP prospects despite media narratives suggesting unease within Republican ranks. Listen, this is a quote, listen, we're in great shape as a Republican Party, he told co-host Charlotte McBride and Mark Loder, pointing to what he described as strong candidates, financial advantages, and the continued influence of President Donald Trump on the campaign trail. If we just execute the plan that we've created, I think we have a chance to defy history. So he thinks they're in great shape for the midterms. So we will see. Representative Scott, South Carolina, believes that they will hold for sure one side of Congress, but he's not so sure on the other. It's going to be a thin margin. There were efforts we read on Monday night, I think it was Monday night, of them or some Republicans trying to flip Fetterman over. And he says, no, I'll never I'm a Democrat. Some think he might become an independent, even though he votes often with the Republicans. He is not a Republican. Talk about rhino. But they're trying to fill those spots. It's a race, and it's within the administration. You're always trying to make sure you got the numbers. From the great state of Georgia, Buddy Carter, Representative Buddy Carter, said on Tuesday as well that he supports the court's ruling, the Supreme Court that is, on these redistricting, and called on Georgia leaders to convene a special session to address. Remember, the governor said he's not going to do that. But voices are speaking out around the state. But he said we need to convene a special session to address redistricting, even as early voting is already underway. Quote, race should never be considered in drawing congressional districts. It is never too late to do the right thing. And the right thing is for the governor and for the legislature to call a special session to redistrict so that Georgians will be represented by people who represent their values. He said redrawing district lines in Georgia would result in Republicans getting 2 to 3 seats, which he said could play a role in determining the national House majority. That would be the difference between us going back as Republicans in a majority, and the House is where they're concerned nationally, and going back to the minority. He also pointed to broader estimates suggesting Republicans could gain seats across southern states if similar efforts move forward. Alabama has said they're going to do it, and I believe South Carolina, but I know Alabama's going to do it. Kemp, many say he's not a Republican either. A lot of people are not happy with him. He says he's not going to do it. I don't know. Can you do that once you've already started voting? I don't know the legality of that. I mean, I really don't. I'm just saying honestly. I don't know is that legal to even do that? Do you have to start over? I mean, do those votes do people have a case that I voted because now my district's changed? I don't even know if that's what that would mean. I honestly do not know. I'm going to look into that today. The 14th district is one of those that have been talked about as a change because they take in part of Cobb County. So we'll see. Even though it has stayed Republican and is very conservative, the numbers have tightened up certainly. So I don't know. I've never heard of that. So he is running for Senate. Carter, who is running for Senate, he criticized incumbent Senator John Ossoff, which a lot of us have, Democrat Georgia, and urged voters to participate in early voting. Ossoff does not represent the values of the state of Georgia, and we need to win this seat. He also highlighted his campaign positioning, saying Republicans must nominate a strong candidate to compete in the race. Well, yeah. Since those losses, the state of Georgia has been in flux. I mean, it is hurt, obviously on a national level. So we'll see what happens with that. Good morning to everybody that's checked in. Appreciate the happy birthdays. We're looking to have some fun. Me and my son are going to go have breakfast this morning. Not too early, but I think around 9-ish, 9:30-ish. We're going to tackle that. We're going to tackle that country boy breakfast at Cracker Barrel, I think. Anyway, that's some of the news. It's the silly season. I mean, when you get into these elections, things get crazy. And I was looking to see if there was anything else related to that. Here's one for you. Watchman. The Crack House. I was there a few days ago, last week, or was it? Yeah, it was last week. We went, me and my family after the funeral. Not that day. I think it was the next day I went and ate there. Israeli Foreign Minister Saar rejects claims of anti-Christian bias, calls it new anti-Semitism. Gideon Saar, Israel's foreign minister, on Tuesday forcefully rejected claims that Israel is hostile towards Christians, describing such assertions as part of a broader trend of new anti-Semitism during a joint press conference with German Foreign Minister Johann Wadephul in Berlin. Quote, Christians enjoy full and equal rights in Israel. They're represented everywhere in Israeli society, pushing back at what he characterized as persistent misconceptions. He argued that criticism portraying Israel as anti-Christian reflects demonizations, delegitimization, and double standards applied uniquely to the Jewish state. He also highlighted demographic trends to support his position, noting that Israel is the only country in the region with a growing Christian population. According to his remarks, the number of Christians in Israel has risen from approximately 34,000 in 1950 to more than 188,000 today. That makes up about 2% of the population, with roughly three-quarters identifying as Arab Christians, many living in northern regions and cities such as Haifa and Nazareth. He contrasted that growth with declining Christian populations across much of the Middle East. In Lebanon, he said the Christian population has dropped in recent years, while in Syria, particularly in Aleppo, which has been that's been a hellhole, numbers have fallen dramatically. Similarly, Iraq has seen a steep, long-term decline in its Christian community, also pointing to Bethlehem, which he said has shifted from a historically Christian majority of 85% when Israel governed the area to only 10% of the population of the Palestinian Authority. The opposite is true. Christians are safe and prosperous in the Holy Land, adding that Israel would act firmly against anyone who harms Christian communities. Christian believers have been victimized across the Middle East by Islamic jihadist movements, and the same has been true in Judea and Samaria. His remarks came amid ongoing debate over the status of religious minorities in Israel. Christians in Israel generally enjoy legal protections, voting rights, and the strong representation in education and professional sectors. Arabs living in Israel have among the high standards of living of any across the Middle East. Beyond the issue of religious freedom, Sayer urged the press conference to address, or used the press conference rather, to address broader regional security concerns, focusing heavily on Iran. He accused the Iranian government of escalating aggression, including attacks on shipping routes in the Strait and strikes against neighboring countries. Quote, we strongly condemn the regime's unprovoked attacks against the UAE, warning that Iran's behavior underscores the need to prevent it from acquiring nuclear weapons. If this is how Iran behaves now, imagine how it would act with a nuclear umbrella. He also criticized Iran-backed groups such as Hezbollah and Hamas, accusing them of destabilizing the region and targeting Israeli civilians. He noted that Hezbollah has launched thousands of projectiles toward Israel in recent months, calling the situation along Israel's northern border as an impossible reality for residents. The Israeli foreign minister further emphasized strong bilateral ties between Israel and Germany, highlighting a cooperation in defense, intelligence, and technology. And they go on into some other things, but a little flavor there from Berlin. What a place to have that press conference. It does show we move forward in many ways. In L.A., feds have opened a Title IX inquiry. I heard about this day before yesterday, I think. In the L.A. schools misconduct policy, the Department of Education opened a directed investigation under Title IX into the Los Angeles Unified School District on Tuesday. Well, I guess it was yesterday I heard about it, alleging that the district's policies automatically reassign teachers credibly accused of sexual misconduct rather than removing them while inquiries proceed. The inquiry, run by the department's Office for Civil Rights, centers on a 2024 settlement between the district and its teachers union and could shape how the district handles future misconduct claims involving students. So that the investigation has just been announced and there's no finding issued. But anyway, well, it's important that we look at that. I mean, we know a lot of our school systems is in trouble, and kids need to be protected. And even in fairly close to here, but over in the state of Tennessee, there has been a huge lawsuit. I don't know where that's at, where it was settled, and the issue of bathrooms. And there was a girl that was abused by a male dressed as a female. I won't name the school. I need to check in to see where that update is. But I think one or two, this kid had already harmed another student, I think, in another school or something like that. I don't want to, I need to look back into that and make sure. All right, let me go back up. I'm not avoiding you. I was just reading. Broski. I said, blah, 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 blah. You always order the same thing? What do you order there, Watchman, at the Cracker Barrel? Broski, Fetterman is a fraud. People who buy his act and call him a martyr act like he's not a Democrat are being fooled. I would agree. He's not a conservative in any way. Watchman, burning churches, attacking and spitting on Christians is fine as long as Jews are doing. There's been those accusations. Nope, Israel treats Christians terrible. A guy just attacked a nun. They bomb churches. They spit in the face of Christians. Josie says Jews are not our friends. Nothing's more evil than the Orthodox. And they keep the tourist sites safe for Christians because they make billions from it in a year. Stray from those pathways and you'll be attacked or worse than hate Christians more than Muslims. Okay. What else here? Israel's funding a 4-day alphabet festival gathering of alphabet people over in the middle, the largest gathering of alphabet people ever in the Middle East on the side of Sodom and Gomorrah. Tel Aviv is well, that's true. They do have their marches there. We've talked about that for some time. Near they're having that. Oh my gosh, yeah. Oh, there is no doubt that the country is filled with immorality, evil, and all that because they're not a Christian nation, and their leaders are not. They do make a lot of money from evangelicals through the tourism because that is their biggest money maker as far as it's one of the big ones. I mean, tourism is big in Israel as people go to those sites, those biblical sites. But they do have they're very pro-abortion. They have the parades. Tel Aviv is a site for that. I've covered those stories for years. And yes, you can make a phone call, and the Orthodox control the kashrut. They control who comes in the country and who doesn't. There has been some wins that have been made in the Knesset, their version of Congress, that have helped quote unquote Messianic Jews to get citizenship back in the land. So there has been some things that made, but yes, they do control a lot of that, and that is one of the big strongholds for what is the party. Oh man, I know it. I can't think of it. That is Netanyahu's biggest support base is the Orthodox. I mean, it's a coalition of parties. They have a huge, they don't have just 3 or 4 like we have. I mean, they've got like 27 or 30 different parties. And I know the name of that, but he had the Likud. Thank you, the Likud. I knew it. I couldn't think of it. The name kept being, but the Likud, and they put him over the top, so he has to please that portion. And the Likud would be very much for anything that I don't know if that's the way it's spelled. I think it's K. I don't think it's a C. I think it's Lakude, something like that. Likud, if I remember right, something like that. But you got me close enough that I can remember it. Thank you for that. But that's how he holds his, because it's very hard to hold the coalition together through a whole term. So usually Israel goes to early elections. Netanyahu's been able to weather all of that because he is wielding some of the biggest parties, and they have a lot of control in that nation. So that's how he's been able to do that. There is a huge there is a very way liberal parties in the land. That is how Labor, which is very liberal there, that's another huge party that have been able to send them back to early elections at times. I'll be shocked with all this went on. I'm shocked that he's been able to hold that party line together, but who knows what they've promised, and hold on to power. I mean, you got to give the guy credit. He's been able to hold on to power a lot more than anybody else ever in the history of modern day Israel. Good morning, brother. I'm praying for you and your family today. Have a blessed day. Love you, man. Back at you, brother. Back at you. The birthday is today, Jerry. It's my birthday. You'll have to go read the story. No, I didn't go to jail. I didn't have to be bailed out, but I was very angry, and you'll have to read that story on Facebook. The daily post I have about life with my Lynn, or Lenny, as I called her, I do. People have enjoyed those, but I do have that. My next story will be what was the one I was going to share? Because I've got two or three always, and I decide which one basically at the moment. But I've been trying to map those a little bit. Oh my gosh, I just went blank. I know it. I can't think of it at the minute. So the party is made up of literal terrorists. Broski Bear, the curly-haired devil worshippers spit in the face of Christians a lot. Dave, you should check out the most recent videos and the video of the nun being attacked. I will. I'll try to check that out today. And so, yeah, I don't. I think I've been pretty clear that I don't agree with. Yeah, I know we don't agree on everything. I know we don't, and that's fine. It's not intended to be that. But I think I've been pretty clear that I recognize the bad things that go on the land. I mean, I've got friends in the land. I mean, they, they as Christians, they have to navigate their, one of them has gained his citizenship back. He's from America, from Pennsylvania. And I know it was close, man. I mean, I lost it, man. I was mad that night. I could just see Jerry going in steamrolling. But you know what? It was kid. I mean, when you get in there and it's a teenager, I mean, it's like, and the girl was like, "I am so sorry. I'm so sorry." Because the girl said, "No, they didn't know nobody come through like that's what happened." And you look good to be 70. Well, thank you. At work tomorrow when I go back to work, they've invited me to a lunch thing, and they said celebrating Dave's 75th birthday. And somebody went back and said, he's not 75. It's a joke, but when I first saw it, I thought, he got that all wrong. I thought, it's got to be a joke. There's tons of videos of Jews spitting on Christians, dumping pots of piss and filth on their heads as they walk along below, destroying Christian sites like they just blew up St. Peter's. But again, to be fair, that is the more orthodox. You get closer, and that's the same crowd Jesus had trouble with. I mean, think about it. Jesus suffered the same thing, but you get closer into Jerusalem and that Orthodox crowd, over in Tel Aviv. I mean, I know they let everything go. I mean, everything, because they really have no faith. I mean, over there, it's almost, they're not a believer in anything. They just go along to get along in a lot of the other cities. But you get closer to that crowd there, it can get rough. But yeah. Hello, Infomaniac 99. Thank you for the posting of the link, and I'll try to check that out. Someone sent me one the other day, and I did pull it up. I haven't had a chance to look at it all yet. I will be getting off in a few minutes, but I will make sure I copy that down before I go. But yeah, one phone call in the land, and if you're not a citizen, you're out. That's all it takes. One phone call. Because the Orthodox, they know all they get is call. Hey, we got some Christians over here. They're causing trouble. Bam, they're out. That's all it takes. That crowd that you're speaking about does not even like each other. Well, true. That's true too, Jerry. Yeah, that's true too. So, yeah, I went to, I've been meaning to, oh, is it? Okay. All right. I didn't. Okay. Thank you for that. Ban him. Okay. Well, you know me, I don't ban, man. Maybe just move on. I don't ban anybody. I try never to do that. There has been two that I think were banned. I don't think I did the banning. But I don't. I don't like doing it, man. I don't know. I get it. Sometimes you have to, because if somebody comes, I think the only guy I ever supported banning was the guy who jumped on my granddaughter and said really bad things in the chat, and I told him to shut his face. You can say whatever you want to about me. I may not like it, but don't jump on my granddaughter. That infuriated me that night. I didn't actually do the banning, but I supported it. So I don't like to do it, man. It starts like this. I don't know. It just starts bad feelings back and forth. Usually, generally, most people move along. He's a weird one. Well, there's some weird ones who pop in and out. I mean, I've had the crowd show up, and You know, you get that every once in a while. That's um, their. But thanks for telling me. You know, I don't want to click on nothing I shouldn't be. So anyway, but yeah, Jerry, I wish I could remember. I was trying to think of which one we was going to go to. I know I've got one coming up about trying to teach my wife to drive a stick shift car. No, I've got a story about that. Because she didn't drive when we met. She didn't have her license, and that's interesting, and we'll tell the story around that. I know what it is. I'm going to tell the story of going to meet her aunt. We were dating, and that, oh my gosh, that one has some turns to it. So that's the next one, and then probably the day I tried to. I mean, I did teach her to drive. There's stories there, but there's one where I tried to teach her to drive a stick shift. I failed. I failed. I'll have that story going up. Probably it'll happen this week, I'm sure. So, but yeah, I mean, you know, you have to be careful when you go into places. You know, and as you go around America, I mean, honestly, what is Orthodox in New York is very different than Atlanta. Not that you can't run into problems, but it's funny the law that's followed up in, like I've seen on the Sabbath, Orthodox in Atlanta driving to the synagogue in a Hummer. It's not supposed to be doing that. There's some differences. Jerry Barrett says, when we went to Israel back in 2019, we were told, do not leave the tour group alone. I went for the experience and the history, but once you got outside the tourist area, there were more slum areas than you would find here in America. One area we went to was near the pool of Bethesda, or Bethsaida, I guess that is. Or maybe it is Bethesda, the pools of Bethesda. There were trash powdered up along the road, even the hill into the wooded areas. It was pitiful. Yeah, the tour guides generally keep you on those tourist areas. You know, and you do get into some bad things. Drug use in Israel is really bad, like it is there in America. It's really, really bad. And, you know, there is violence. I mean, you could get caught up in anything as an outsider. You could get caught up in all kinds. You have to be careful. You know, you don't take the wrong direction. You need to stay with the guide if you don't know where you're at. But it is interesting to pull back the curtain. I mean, I imagine you get the same could be said, not in exactly that way, but you could say, New Orleans is like that. Like I've never been, but if you went to Mardi Gras and you stayed on that strip, you're going to see crazy stuff. Yes, but if you get one block over, you could be dead. I mean, in some areas. To be fair, I mean we've seen the news. I mean, there are some rough areas right off the street. They have a lot of security down there, but you got to kind of stay in what would be the quote unquote tourist areas of those. They have two rubs and Atlanta can break the law while inside. Yeah, and they do have those painted out. They do. Or they have lines. I think they actually go along the power poles, if I remember right. But anyway, there's a map of them. You can see them. They can do that inside there while trying to trick God. I have witnessed too many on the streets in that community. And, you know, by far in Atlanta, I would think the most, I never had any bad experiences except with a civilian, meaning not Orthodox, not clergy, at his home. That was I never had a bad experience. Although a pastor told me that because we were working out of his church in an area, and there were one particular group he said were very much in your face. You know, they got very confrontational and it could lead to violence in Atlanta. That's in Atlanta. That's Sandy Springs area, if I remember correctly, right off of there. Right. I basically got off at the main Sandy Springs exit and then wound my way back around to where his church was. And we were hitting the streets around his church, which was filled with all sorts of people. But there was a synagogue there in the area, and we were working in the streets around that. He had done it. I was backing him up, and he was taking the lead. I just brought some people. We set up an outreach. We met all kinds of people. But I'm trying to think of I just cannot think right now. My brain is so fried. But anyway, basically, it was just I was just going to throw a name or a particular branch. There's a video of Israeli police telling Christians in the city the right thing to do was to kill them. They say it's not time yet. When the Sanhedrin give the go, they will. Hey, listen, I know the IDF has went heavy-handed in areas. I've seen the videos where they are mocking and shooting at people, and well, certainly those things have happened. Yes, I mean it's there. It's an ugly situation in that region. It's very ugly. There's a lot of violence all the way around, and our president will never be able to solve that. He thinks he can, and we know that biblically he's not going to be able to solve that. Am I safe with that? I appreciate the help with phrases and stuff, but I'm thinking, I got you on one side and him on the other, and like, can I survive this? Yeah, it's a wire that taxpayers pay and maintain. I thought so. It's been a long time since I looked at that. I used to do a lot of survey trips down there into areas all over Atlanta. I called it the Jewish Triangle, from Sandy Springs down to what is that area? Again, I can't think. But if you look at a map, it's almost like a triangle. And I worked within that triangle a lot when I was down there. It gets very dark. I mean, you get over to I cannot remember that. It's one of the very old areas, Druid Hills. You'll know where it's at. You go in the Kroger over there, and I shouldn't mention the name, but I'm not blaming Kroger. But you can feel it in the air, buddy. As a Christian, I'll just say it that way. We used to go there and we'd go shop and talk to people in the parking lot and stuff. But then we'd visit some bagel places and stuff over there. But you can feel it. You can feel it in that area. It's much different than Sandy Springs. The energy is way different, even though it's still got parts of that. But it is a those areas, a lot of, and I'm going to be careful how I say this. I got to go, but I don't want to say it in the wrong way, because, I don't want to pay for it with, my show being taken down on certain channels, or even it causing me problems at work or something. But in Atlanta, and Jerry will know this because he knows one of our brother pastors down there. A lot of churches got out. There's a phrase for it I'm not going to use. I'm just not going to use it. But Jerry, you'll know what I'm talking about. And basically all those churches moved outside the perimeter. And that has continued, really. And that whole area was taken over by a lot of bad. I'm talking the church wise. I don't even like calling it churches, but for lack of a better word, that turned into a very dark area, and there may be some doing some work there. Well, yeah, that's it. It's called that, but he called it a little bit different way. But I just don't want to say that. You understand? But that's true. It did happen, and they all went outside the perimeter. And they talk about that, and all those old, long-standing. But see, the community changed around them, and they basically. Nobody would visit their church, and they didn't want to hear the gospel in it, and they got taken over. Well, I just want to be careful how I say it. Because I'm not really, I say platform. I'm not really concerned with that, but I want to be careful how I say things due to my position. So, some people, there have been people attacked from Greater Atlanta back into my company, and it has had an effect. Even just comments on news sites. It's a real deal. They'll come after you, and I don't need that headache right now, man. I just don't need it. So you understood what I mean. I knew you would. So Jerry would understand, and you understand, and we know the lay of the land here, and it's not the only place, but that's where it definitely happened. So going up into Cherokee County, the whole area just exploded. I mean, it is, now they're moving it up into, Paulding County. And I'm saying the growth down that I-75 corridor is incredible. But there's a lot, Georgia's ever changing, that's for sure. So, I said one day I will have much more to say in the by and by. You gotta watch my tongue. It's things get taken out of context sometimes. So. I am going to go and going to get the kiddo. She wanted me to take her to school today. She's been walking, and then get ready. And I'm going to enjoy birthday breakfast with my son, my oldest son. And he won't get up real early. He was up late himself. Jerry, have a great day out there. Watchman, Broski, others that may be watching in the shadows. We appreciate you. Some people don't like to talk, but they'll say, hey, I watched the show, or I seen you, or whatever. So there are a ton of people in here this morning, but we do have some, and I appreciate every single one. Jerry said, we used to go down to Druid Hills and preach on the street corner. Hey, that's awesome to know. I didn't know that. But now if you do that, you'd better have a Bible in one hand and a shotgun in the other hand. It is very evil in the area now. And I felt that way back. And I'm talking, this goes back for me back about 15 years ago that I was down in those areas, 2010-ish, certainly, and going forward for maybe even starting in 08, we were down there. So, but yeah, I didn't know you did that, but yeah, that is a dark area. You know what I'm talking about. It's dark, man. You feel it when you get out of the car or while in the car. The data centers are what to be worried about. They stopped the expansion of one in Athens. Yeah, and they're going up everywhere, man. My gosh. It's become the drug for all these communities that want to grow business. It's the data center. It's all across the United States. I see it all the time in different states and looking at news because I like to look at news in different states. And that pops up time and time again, data centers, data centers. We want data centers to come here. You know, and that has become a drug for a lot of communities. They better be careful with that. That's all I got to say. But George is definitely in that group. Definitely. I was talking about our friend, Brother Cooper. If you didn't know, Jerry, I'm sure you picked up on that. I hadn't got to see him in a long bit. I need to drive down there one day and just sit in on a service when we don't have a night service at our church. I need to drive down and catch him on Sunday night, and go see him. Appreciate our friendship. He's been very, very gracious to me for a long time, and I can't say enough good things about him and his wife. They're wonderful people. He called you. Hey, if you're talking to Brother Cooper, you're going to be talking for a good while. He is a great person just to sit and talk to. He has a great sense of humor. You know, he's a pretty amazing individual. He's one of those. He still holds. You know, I think even in his area, he fought. You know, remember when they was going to redo his church? He had to go around and get permission to rebuild his own church. That county put him through the ringer. It's a beautiful church, though. Have you been to the new one, Jerry? Have you ever been down there and been to the new one? You know, he has those preacher meetings and stuff. I need to go down there. I forget which one that's called. Southwest, is that South? Yeah, I don't remember. But I went to a King James Version conference there with that group from up north. That was interesting. The Meta Data Center down in South Georgia is running people's wells dry and contaminating the water table. The noise is 90 decibels at 1 a.m. half mile away. That's horrible. And lights flood the houses around it at night. That's not good. That's not good at all. The noise and the contamination, it's all been mentioned. Wow. And it's happening more and more and more. I mean, it really is. He asked me to come to one that is going to be in July. I hope to be able to go down to that conference. Yeah, man. I think I usually get the notifications, but if you find out the dates on that, just let me know. I might go down a day. I may do that. Maybe even 2 days. Who knows? It depends on what the timing is and what I've got going on at work. So I would like to go to one. I haven't been able to be down there in so forever, and I would like to go back. I love Brother Cooper, Brother Kershey, crazy Brother Kershey. I say that with all due love and respect. So many good people attached to the college and everything. Wonderful people. Have a blessed day. I'm glad to be been on this earth 61 years. Thank you to the good Lord for his blessing upon me and my family. And keep praying for us. I guess that's what I would say. Let me get the music dialed back up, and we'll get out of here. Cornbread Man Morning Show with the Cornbread Man. We'll see you tonight if you're able to join in. I know we have a racing show tonight, and I don't know if we have an interview tonight. I got to look. I got to look at my own schedule. I've been trying to update and everything. And a little bit later tonight, PNN News and Wolf Nation Sports will be back. Let's see if the Braves, we'll know by then if the Braves have won that series or not and maintained the best record in baseball. We'll see. See you tonight.